When 3,000 years ago we started discovering the Torah, actually we started discovering it 6,000 years ago, starting with Adam HaRishon, literally meaning Adam the first, and then all the Kabbalists, through all the Kabbalists, until Moses. But actually Moses was the first to write these things down in an orderly fashion and passed it on to the people of Israel. And for us, what he wrote seems as a book of laws, and he wrote it in a very special fashion. As we know, it's in the language of the Torah, of the Pentateuch, which is the language of the branches, that wants to explain to us how the upper system is operating on us. How does it work and how do we operate it? And he wrote it in the form of the language of the branches, meaning he took the different forms of this world and forces and changes. Things we know from our reality, but what he meant was the upper forces which are operating our reality. And from this story which he wrote in the language of the branches and the reality of this world, we have to understand what's going on. It's suppose like I go to a psychologist and I say that I'm afraid of something. So he says, I understand that you're afraid, and I will tell you why is it happening. It's happening to you because you have a certain disbalance with some of your body acids. You have to add a certain substance, and then you will balance your body, and the fear will go away. And really, I took the substance he gave me, I swallowed it, and the fear went away, meaning I influenced the balance of forces inside my body, and I brought myself to a balanced form. So the entire Torah tells us how we should be balanced. Why are we out of balance? Because the forces are operating on us in order to develop us. And in order to develop us, they always push us out of balance, and we ourselves have to find a way to balance ourselves, and then we reach balance on a higher and higher degree every time. And this is how we develop. Like we see in humanity, even though that it costs us lots of effort and suffering and years of suffering during which we develop under the press of the roller of development, and every time we reach a certain limit of suffering that we can't take it anymore, we build a home, we suffer some more, we build a heating system, cooling system, some farm next to our home, then some organizations, factories, different things. Where does it come from? Because we feel that we're falling out of balance, we have a problem, we feel a lack, and then we build it. We give an answer to that lack. Yeah, and this is how we balance ourselves. We all the time want to be in balance. So the evil and good forces will be balanced in such a way that between them I'll feel myself comfortable. This is what my ego wants. And here we're coming to a very special kind of development. That, of course, our goal is to be in balance with these forces, but it's not that these forces, they fall out of balance and they develop us every time randomly. But they have a gradual kind of development, a plan, a program. This program is called the Torah. That explains that all in all you develop until you become the owner of the program. You have to control, you have to manage your development, you have to know why are you developing, what system do you belong to, and that this system is multifaceted and multi-layered, and that really there's some kind of an upper system here. Not a material one somewhere behind the stars like some say, but it's a system which exists in the inner forces of nature that are hidden from you because you still can't reveal them. That's why they're called hidden. And you have to discover this system, and then you'll know how to balance yourself and come to the best possible final development where you're completely balanced. And this is what the Torah talks about. And therefore, when we approach the Torah, we have to know how to read it. Therefore, there's the ordinary Torah that we read the text as is. And then, as you say, it's divided into 54 portions, and every Shabbat we read a portion. And there is the Torah that's called the hidden wisdom, Torah Nistar, that we study the forces that are working on us, and how can we come into equivalence of form, into balance with these forces to know how to control ourselves and the entire reality we exist in, and to advance that way. Therefore, there is an attitude to the Torah to simply corporeally keep what it says there externally wise, meaning what I see that's written there, this is how I relate to that demand. And that's called Peshat, the literal meaning, even though that it's not Peshat, but that's how it's called, meaning that we have to read what it says and keep it in the simple manner. Yeah. This approach is called the religious approach. And there is an approach which is a deeper approach that says that we have to really understand what does the Torah demand of us, the revelation of the upper operating system, that we have to reach it. That's called to reveal the Creator, to reveal the general upper force that's operating in that system, to get to know Him, to understand Him, and to come to equivalence of form with Him. And this is a different way of observing, of keeping the Torah, that we're learning from the Torah about the different forces that are operating us, and how can we balance these forces inside ourselves, because I'm already a result of these forces. There's the good force and bad force. We exist in between them. The good and bad forces, on purpose, they're constantly pushing me out of balance, and I exist in between these two forces, and I'm constantly moving in the direction of the bad force, the evil force, and then I have to increase the good force, the force of good, in order to be balanced in between these two forces. And again, the evil force from day to day, even from moment to moment, is increasing in me. And especially we can see it on children, that just now we said, okay, so you're gonna be good kids, you'll stop fighting, everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. A second later, boom, a new outburst. This is how we are. So every time we have to stand guard to keep ourselves in balance between these two forces. We can't get rid of them. We can't destroy any of these forces, but we can only come to balance with these forces. And this is exactly what the Torah speaks about. Therefore, all the laws, we say, we don't necessarily have to keep them externally wise. Of course, you can do that. Be my guest. But besides that, there is a completely different form of observance, one in which a person corrects himself, corrects his attitude towards others, towards the world, and this is what he has to do. So every time he has to balance himself so that he will correctly consist of these two forces of nature, so-called the good and evil inclinations, and man, he determines their balance. And how does he determine the balance? How does he know? In favor of others. In favor of others. About myself, I can never tell. I'll always be bribed. But if I wish to reach the proper, true kind of balance inside myself, then I have to see my attitude towards others. How do I treat others? For the others to enjoy me.